Good afternoon, good morning, sorry, and welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to look at the PHP loop. What does it do? Now let me give you this example. For instance, I want to write this one. I am number one. I want to write this up to like 50. I'll copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. I'm repeating this code. This is just repeating. I am number one, I'm number three, I'm number four. So I will continue to write this like 50 times or 10 times. This is space consuming and time consuming. So I'm repeating this code. So instead of writing this, so what the loop help us to do is help us to repeat this code as many as we want, to help us this block of code, this code to be executed as many times as we want. So we're going to look at a while loop, do while. We're going to look at a while loop. So we're going to look at do while. We'll look at for each. We'll look at for loop and for each. So these are four basic loops statement we have. Now the first one, now let us, from the example, let us look at this loop, while loop. Now, this is how it is written. Now we need to pass a condition inside this parenthesis. As long as this condition is true, whatever that is here will be executed. As long as the condition is true. Now let me have my initial variable x to be equal to 0. Now, and that's okay. As long as this my x, is less than 5, I want you to write this thing. So that thing I put there before, echo I am number x. I am number x. So now this is the block of code that I want to write. So let me just even put inside that h1, then h1. Now instead of me writing, you see how I was writing paste and paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So we can see this once line of code will solve those problems. Even you are going to write up to 200. So this single line of code will repeat this. So if you want to repeat something, instead of paste and copy or try writing it yourself, taking a lot of time and the space. So this is what the loop has come to solve. So it will, whatever we have here will be executed as long as this condition is true. And for instance, now it will first of all put 0 here to check. Now this is the value, this is the initial variable 0. Now you now compare 0 and 1. No, 0 is less than 5. Okay, write this. Now we now say, okay, we put our increment this thing, so that once it is done with 0, it will now add 1. Then compare again, 1 less than 5 years. Then write this. It will now come and ask, okay, the value is 1, then it will now add another 1, make it 2. So it will now bring 2 here and compare until this place become 5. So when it is become 5, it will not execute again. It will say, oh, 5 less than 5, no. Then it will now break out of the loop. It will break out of the loop. So let's see what is going to happen now. So we are talking of a loop now. So you can now see this is exactly what we wrote before. So with this single line of code, you see, I am number 0, I am number 1, I am number 2, I am number 3, I am number 4. So you can see I'm number this, number that, number this. So now with this single line of code, we repeat those codes instead of all the writing them. So this is what the loop come to help. Now we can see have um, a lot. You can see have a lot with them. So for instance, now I want to add my paragraphs. It's okay. So let me add my paragraph. Um, this is okay. Let me put inside my listing paragraph. Paragraph. So and I say I am paragraph. Paragraph. What? Okay. Let me pass my variable. So let's see what it's going to give us. Okay. Sorry. So this is the block of code. So you see what happened? It will execute this one. 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 Because the condition inside is true until this becomes a false. So once this one is false, it will now get out of, it will now break out of the loop. Now, for instance, now, I can still say that, okay, for instance, I just want 4 of them. Like, let me tell you that break. So when I say, okay, x equal to 3, I want you to break out of this loop. Now that's okay, break out of this loop. So let's see what it's going to give us. You see, it's equals to 3. So it will now break out. You understand? So that's exactly when this condition is not there. When this condition is not there, it will use this one. So when this one now is not is less than is 5, it will now check. So this one is 5. But if you check 4 less than 5, it will execute this one. So if this one become 5, this variable x become 5, it will now say no, 5 cannot be less than 5. So it will now break out of loop. So that is why I just practicalize this place to you. So it will break out of the loop. Now that is how the while loop works. Now let us look at how does the loop do loop works. Um, Now, the same thing here. Um, let me remove this one. Now, let me copy this one. I say, okay, do. Now, what happened here? What exactly happened here is this. It will first of all check this. It will echo it. It will not check this. It will not check this one first. It will not check this one. It will first of all echo this condition. It will echo this condition. Then it will not, before it now compare this one to x, it will now compare this variable x to 5. So it will first of all echo this one. It is not like the one we did. First of all, will now compare this x, the 0. If it is 0 here, it will now compare with 5 before it executes. But this one will first of all do, then come here and compare before it will execute. So let us check. Let us see our this thing now. So let's see. You cannot see. You understand now? You cannot see. It will first of all, echo this one. It will first of all echo this one. Then before it compares it. You understand? So before it will compare it, it will first of all echo it. It first of all do this one first. So before it now compare. So um that is what we are seeing here. So it will first of all do it before it will compare it. So you first of all echo this one. It will now come and say, okay, let me compare it now. It will now compare. This one will do, it will now compare. So this one will now do, it will now compare. So that is the difference between the do while. Now, for instance, now, if I make this place, okay, let me make this place 5. Let me make this place 5. And let's see what is going to happen. You see, it will execute because it will definitely execute it because it will first of all do this one. It will first of all echo this one. If you look at this condition, if you put 5 here, if you put 5 here, it will not, it's not supposed to execute because 5 is not less than 5. But because it will first of all execute this one before it check the condition. So when it execute this one, then put the 5 here and check the condition and say, guy, what happened, man? So this one is not greater than, so you, it's by that time it has already executed this one. So now let me copy this thing now. Let me copy this one. Let me copy this one up so that you get clear what I'm saying. So I'm going back to that do while. Sorry, that while statement. Now let me put my statement. Let me put this statement here. This guy is not going to execute. This guy, there's not going to be anything here because it will first of all check the statement. It will first of all put 5 here and check before it execute this one. It's not like do that will first of all execute it. It will first of all execute it. But this one will not execute first. Do while will first of all execute it before check the statement, before check the condition. But this one will first of all check the condition. So that is why you see first of all, right? So but let us load this one now. You see, it's not showing. It's not because when he put 5 here, 5 less than 5, no, then this condition will not run. So but if you carry this one back to back like this, you're going to see that definitely so you see all of them will definitely come back. So that is how do while and a loop works. Do while will first of all run this statement. Will first of all run this statement before you check the value, before you check this condition. Now, while the while will first of all check the statement before it echo it out. So that is just it. Now this little the one we're going to look at, we're going to look at another one. We'll call it for each. Now in while statement we say if this one is true, continue to do this, continue to echo. But in for each, if for each we have the number of time we want it to loop. We want it to loop. For instance, now we want it to loop like 10 times. Okay, let us see. That is when we use a loop statement. So we want it to loop as many time we want. It is not this time true, but we want it to loop. Now, for instance, now we ask, okay, let me have s is equal to 1. This is my initial variable. Now, it's okay, x um, less than or equal to 10. S less than or equal to 10. Then let me have my increment statement. Sorry. So let me have my increment statement. Now, so we want you to echo this guy now 10 times. 10 times. So let me paste it here and see what is going to happen. So we want it 10 times. You see, 1, 2, 3 to 10. So you see, we want it 10 times. So that is exactly what happened. So when you want it a particular, a specific number of time, you use 4. But when you want it, as long as this condition is true, you use the while statement. So that is the difference between the two. So and they repeat the same code instead of you typing manually. So repeating the same code. So this one just help you once, just a single line of code, you are done. So I think the last one we're going to look at it is for each. So what if you want to look through an array? An element in array. So what do we do? So that is when we use for each. For instance, now I have an array of elements. Okay, I use can. I don't know. Let me use can to be sorry. So this is my array. So I'm going to have Toyota, um, Range Rover, and then Mbs. Okay, so these are my cars. So I just want to print out this value. So this is when I use for each. It will look through each of these, echo the result. This one will echo the result. Then this one it will echo the result. So let's see, for instance, let's have for each. For each car, for this, okay, for each car, as what? As element. Let me make it an element in element. As each car as element. So let us echo this element because it will look through this guy. So the value of the first value of the element will be equal to this. It will echo it. The second value of the element will be equal to this. It will echo it. So until it reach the end. So it will now break out of the loop. Now, so see what is going to happen now. So let me echo element. So let's see what is going to happen. So you can see we have range Toyota. It's okay. Let me just break this guy. Let me break. So let me just break it so that you can see very well. You can now see how it loop through the array and bring out those values. So that is what they loop. That is what we use this one. So as long as this one, the array are not exhausted, we continue to loop through them. Continue to loop them until it is done with the value or the element in the array. So that is how they loop. These are all the whole thing about the loop. So we have dealt with while, do while, for, and for each statement. So for while statement, the condition is true, continue. So do, first of all, echo the block of code. First of all, before it will now check the statement. Then for used to execute the block of code at a specific within a given specific length time, specific numbers. Then we talk of for each. So when we have an array, so we want to look through the element of the array, the values in the array. So we use for each. So thank you and God bless you. Subscribe for more. Thank you. God bless you.